Hello and welcome back to Thoughts and Meditations. Now with this one, this will be me opening up a little bit more to anyone who's listening. So as I've mentioned previously, there was this time where I was waking up at 3 and half 3 in the morning constantly, and I started doing the fourth watch prayer and things started to settle a bit. And then I went through a period of absolutely fine, and then it suddenly hit again, but this time it felt different. I don't know if it just felt different to the first sort of time that the waking up that early happened. Now, what would happen then is these collection of they're basically dreams that run a full narrative. These would come to me and I'd just write them down when I'd wake up, or I'd be sitting thinking about them, and I'd get the compulsion to write certain things down for no rhyme or reason. And it wasn't until I actually read the whole thing all together, which come from from roughly around, I think it's around sort of 20 nights worth over a period of months collated together, that I realised when I put them all together, it was an important message for me, and this might help someone else out there. It's not amazing literature. It's not going to win any awards, but it might help someone. So I'm just going to read them in chronological order, and I'll leave it to you. So it's called The Man in Blue. So a small child, wobbly walking up a path that is narrow. Thick brushes either side of the path are filled with red eyes, beasts and evil faces. The small child stumbles, trips and falls occasionally, and the bushes seem to get closer and grow into the path itself. A man behind him stands looking at the child. He is robed in white and blue, a giant compared to the boy, but not threatening or scary. He offers a warm hand to the child and helps him up. The child takes his hand and says, "I know you're always here when I walk. I trust you, but my own legs at times, that's what I'm doubting." And the robed man holds the child's hand and walks with him until he gets his balance, keeping him steady, and the man walks in a normal pace, but with purpose. The child, concentrating on the man's feet sometimes, tries to match the giant's stride, and then they'll stand for a moment looking at the path ahead. The path is extremely long, it dips and rises, and all around that black forest is vast and consuming. But that path is there like a ribbon of light, and the child goes on one step at a time. The man is always there, even when the child is too busy looking at his own feet, running ahead up on his own, or stopping to stare into the dark brushes in the side of the road. The roadman urges the child to walk on and to stop looking around getting distracted. The child inevitably stumbles again and gets annoyed at the roadman. What's the point if I just keep falling over? The man stops and kneels down to the child's level, and he realises he can't make out his face, but somehow senses a smile on the robed man. And so the path is laid out for the child, and he wobbles on forward, always forward, each step getting better as he walks. Now the child begins to grow into a boy, and continues on now, running along the path, light all around him, and he occasionally stops to quickly catch his breath, and then he runs on, not looking at the road man or even the bushes around him. He continues on at full speed, caution to the wind, and he can't even hear the voice in his head telling him to slow down. The next time he takes a break, he realises his laces are undone and he could have tripped and fallen. He walks on, being more careful and taking his time, not rushing as before. The boy, realising he's gone a long way, stops to see how far ahead he is of the robed man, but to his surprise there he is, in pace with the boy, the same place he was all that distance ago. The boy asks the man why is he still following him, and "Are you going the same way?" The man says nothing and just stands patiently. The boy declares, "I'm bigger now and I can keep running all the way on this path." The man's head moves to look down at the boy again, and he can't make out his face. But the boy feels like he should slow down and take his time. He still can't see where the path actually leads. The boy seems to grow into a young man at this point, and he walks on. The path seems to be narrower now, and there's more rocks and pits that litter the path, almost like it's getting more difficult. And even now, as a young man and someone who's sure-footed, he'll still trip at times, and it feels like he did it to himself deliberately, falling over and hurting himself. The young man, frustrated, turns to the robed man, who is still there, in pace, in the same position he always has been, and says to him, "Can't you help?" The roadman kneels down, and for the first time the young man hears him speak. "Yes," is the answer. The word is filled with love and brings the young man to tears. The young man stands up and dusts himself up. Each step is now somehow lighter on the path and better than it has ever felt, making it easier to walk upon, as if the path itself has become smooth. After some distance of walking, the young man stops to look at the roadman. He's still there, keeping pace, but he's now carrying a huge backpack filled with all sorts of things that look heavy. Too heavy for the young man to carry. Yet it seems the robed man is unfazed. By the weight, and he's never short of breath, sweating or seemingly tired. "Where did all that come from?" he asks the robed man. For a second time he hears the robed man speak. "This is what you were carrying. Keep going." Amazed, the young man walks on, and the robed man a step behind, carrying the pack, never tiring or complaining. A little further on, something darts out of the bushes and nearly trips the young man over. A shadowy thing, quick and slippery. It had an evil presence. "What was that?" he asked the robed man. The robed man doesn't answer, instead looks at the dark bushes either side of the path, and they seem to retreat under the light of his gaze. And so the young man walks on a little slower, more carefully, and keeping an eye on the bushes that flank the path, and make sure he takes his time going forward. That ribbon of light goes on ever, cutting through the darkness, going up the mountains and into the ravines. A long and clearly difficult path, but with the robed man it seems at least doable. And so the young man continues forward. It's been a time walking forward on the path, and the young man is now an adult. He is stronger, more confident, and carrying another pack of heavy but manageable weight. He doesn't want to give any more to the robed man to carry, and so the adult now walks on, more aware of the noises of the dark forest and the bushes either side of him. Deafening whispers slither out of the trees. "Can you really walk this? Are you sure you're worthy? Who are you? No one important to walk this path." The man stops suddenly and questions himself, looking at the never-ending path ahead, not realising how far he's actually come. And so the robed man puts a hand on the man's shoulder and reassures him. The man looks up at him, and despite him being an adult, he is still smaller than this robed man in blue. "I can't do this. I'm no one special," the man says to the robed figure. And the robed man takes a step ahead and stands waiting for the man to walk. A voice booms around everything from the sky, but it is soft and warm and weirdly familiar, and it silences the whispers from the forest and the bushes. And the voice says, "All are worthy of love." The man walks on in time, however, no longer in front of the robed figure, but side by side, ever forward and on that path. So as I say, it's not Wordsworth, it's not literary genius, but that story came to me in a series of dreams. I think it was over a period of months, and I think it was 7 dreams in total, something like that. And each time I jotted them down in the book, and then I collated them all together in this journal. As I say, it's not very prophetic. It's pretty obvious what it is, and it's, as followers we need to slow down and take our time with God. Don't keep rushing ahead. Don't try to get all the answers straight away. Just enjoy the walk. You're on that path for a reason, and that's a good thing, and just walk with God. Don't try and figure everything out yourself. Don't fall on your own understanding, because ultimately you'll fail, you'll trip, and you'll fall over and you'll hurt yourself. And then occasionally there are things that are going to dart out, doubts, evil that's going to try and get you to either completely leave the path, or it's going to try and get you to stumble. So instead of walking ahead with God, walk side by side with him. And just walk with him, and he's got you the whole way. Wherever that path's going to lead, whatever he's got planned for you, God's going to walk with you side by side. All you need to do is trust him. I hope that's helped someone, but thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next video. God bless.